So now that we've taken a look at the hardware on the Oppo Find 5, I also wanted to give you a look through the software, which definitely isn't going to be familiar to most people who haven't seen devices come directly out of China. It's quite a bit different than what you see from Samsung, LG, HTC, but it will be familiar to you if you happen to use MIUI or MIUI, maybe on a random device that you've picked up or as a custom ROM. And they've done a lot of customizations, Oppo have, to the software here, and a lot of them in the launcher just seem to rub us the wrong way. The first of which is that when you open up the app drawer, it's not sorted alphabetically, and there's no option to sort it alphabetically. So your only chance here, so you see we just have random pages pretty much of different apps, and so they're organized in their own way right out of the box, and then when you install apps, they come in and just are put in order based on how you installed them. Now you can long press them and move them around, so I guess technically you could, if you really wanted to, go through and alphabetize them all on your own, but you know, when you have 100 something apps, it's not really very feasible. You can search apps and you can organize them, you know, again, manually, but we haven't exactly found a way to do it by alphabet, and that just seems to rub us the wrong way. And that's just a good example of kind of the quirky things in the launcher here. They put little backgrounds behind most of the apps. So you see that there's a background behind Pocket Casts and MLS Matchday, but not behind Chrome or Gmail or the camera. So it kind of seems to be depending on the size of the icon. If it's too small, or if it's not the right size, they shrink it down and then put it in the background, and it just kind of looks weird to us. Now, that being said, they do pull it all together and it looks good with the software as a whole, but it just seems to hurt the usability. And of course, because we're relying on a menu button, they still hide things like widgets and wallpapers behind a menu button press, and then you get all of the widgets down here, and they just go on and on and on, and then wallpapers as well if you want to swap that out from this menu. So things just get a little weird, and because of that, we've been using it with another launcher, Nova Launcher, just because it just makes us feel a little more at home, and you know, at least it's easy to do so. In contrast to the launcher, though, the software is actually quite nicely designed. You have a nice pull-down notification shade here that has quick toggles that are easy to turn on and off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and hotspot, and you can simply hit edit here, move them around, select which ones you want, and they really don't get in the way. You can turn them all off if you want, and you get the regular Jelly Bean style settings button there. But then once you do get into the settings, things get a little weirder. The colors are all nice, and they've gone with different icons, but they've gone into this four-page deal where you're scrolling all the way down, and then you go between general and then sound, and you have all of your sound settings, and then over to display, you have all the display settings, including home screen and lock screen, and then all the way to the right is your personal password settings, accounts, location settings, things like that. And it just seems like a bit of a settings overload, because you're going scrolling up and down, then scrolling side to side, and things just aren't in the places that you expect them to be, and it kind of throws you for a loop. Now, performance-wise, it doesn't seem to slow down the software at all. We are looking at Jelly Bean 4.1.1, and updates roll out fairly quickly as well, which is really nice. So they've added a lot of customization here. You have, you can do scheduled power on and off. There's different gestures and things like that. You can turn on granular sound controls as far as the display. It is kind of nice to get the home screen and lock screen in here, so it's all centralized. You can turn on and off the backlighting of the keys. You can adjust the auto brightness. They have all kinds of data saving features, security features to turn on and off permissions, blacklist calls, password protect apps, all of the stuff that normally you would have to go to third-party apps for is all included here. So you do get something for your trouble with having the settings laid out in a different way. So overall, we think the software, it can be fixed with, for lack of a better term, with just a launcher replacement, and then everything else is just kind of getting used to the little quirks. Other than that, it's really hard to complain. The software performs very nicely, and of course, if you ever want to go out of your way and switch up the software, Oppo seems to be very open to that idea as well. So there's your look at the software on the Oppo Find 5.